Hi, Dave Weiss here for the Glue Bomb Show. Well, today I have the paint shirt on, so you know what's going to happen, right? I'm going to paint something. I'm moving right along on this Mother's Worry project. Ed Roth's classic creature kit, Mother's Worry. I had the colors blocked in, so here he is. Right, we've got a little bit, they gave him a little bit of acne, which I find kind of amusing. He's got green hair, we'll see that in a little bit. And then, of course, I also painted the body bright yellow. I did the interior in black, took care of that. And we got some engine parts here, the rest of his green hair, which we're also going to be working on, and his hands and hat and a couple odds and ends like that. But today, what I want to do is, and I've done this before, so it's not a big surprise, but I'm going to show you how I detail these guys a little bit. First of all, no Ed Roth creature is complete without Bloodshot Eyes. Now, I don't know if you can see it here, but there's engravings already where those veins are going to go. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take a little bit of red paint, and we're just going to paint over those little cracks. Now, what I'm using for this is acrylic. I like using acrylic for this for the reason that it doesn't stick completely to the plastic, and so I'll be able to wipe off all the places where red paint doesn't belong, because of course if he has red eyeballs, he looks scary, but it's not the scary I'm going for. So, we're going to take a moist paper towel, and we're just going to kind of wipe. We might have to do a little extra wiping. We might use a dry one for this, I'm sorry. But we're going to wipe out, and what you'll see is the red will have stuck in all the little crannies pretty well. And it's kind of like that. You get a little bit more redness in the eyes, a little bit of pink around the edge, which I kind of like. I'm going to give it a little more just because I think that we need a little more vein in here. Again, I use a very thin acrylic for this, just because I want it to fill in the cracks, but I don't want it to cover the white. So, of course, we don't want to. Again, we don't want to make him look evil, because he's not evil. He is just Mother's Worry, right? So there we go, a little bit of redness around the eyes now. One of the things I noticed on the box art was I usually use black for this, and sometimes I think the black is a little, we're going to do the face details now. Sometimes I think the black is a little overpowering. So today what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my red and mix it with a little dark blue, and I'm going to make kind of a deep purple color. Deep purple, right? Dun, dun, dun. Never mind. Okay, and we're going to do the same thing. We're just going to brush it over all those little cracks. Now, I may not go real far with this at a time before I start wiping, because what I don't want is I don't want it to lay in there so hard that it doesn't wipe off at all. Even get a little bit around the eyes. So it'll start looking like this. Of course, we're not going to leave him like that. We're gonna go over again. We'll use a dry paper towel this time and see what happens. Some of this is experimental, right? Oh yeah, I'm liking that. That's going to look really cool. Look how much different he looks just with that little bit of a wash on there. And we're going to do the same thing on the lower jaw now, around the mouth. And basically all you want is you would just want to brush it on thick enough that it's going to stick in the cracks. And again, this is a deep purple that I just mixed out of some navy blue acrylic paint and just mixed a little of that same red into it. And okay, we're going to do his lower jaw now. And we'll just go along, same thing, wipe it. And again, you want it to kind of stick in those little crannies. You don't want it to be overpowering. You just want it to stick in those little cracks. See how much different that makes him look? I just think that's a really cool look. I've always liked doing this. I've actually learned this trick from my sister when she was doing ceramics years and years ago. Um, but I think it works so well, and it's just a beautiful thing. And I was originally going to mix some brown to go over the clothes, but I actually think I'm going to use this color on the clothes too, because as I see it wipe off, it still looks pretty good. I have to mix a little more here. But the idea, once again, is to just sort of spread it around, and as soon as you spread it around, just about wipe it off. And it'll just hang in those cracks and crevices, and boy, it just makes a really cool looking piece. And then we're going to go back around. Fortunately, his arm's jointed, so that helps a little bit. We'll go back around. We're actually going to do his shirt. The one thing, again, I just want to caution you, because I did a little bit here myself. Don't go too much at a time. If you go too much at a time, you're going to get places where it's not going to come off quite as easily. Again, though, that's another reason to use acrylic, because acrylic is water-based, and so you have a little extra time to wipe it off before it becomes semi-permanent. What we're going to do is, I'm going to do his shirt, just same color. And I think what you'll see is it comes out, the shirt ends up getting a little gritty looking, which is okay for me. I just want it to stick in all those little cracks and crevices. I want to make it look like he's really, really detailed. And yeah. So again, got a little bit more on the shirt. And just go in there and wipe that off. And you can see kind of, I did the one side of the shirt and the other side I didn't. See how much more you can see all those little details in there. And we'll just continue this all the way around the shirt, and I'll pick this up after we have a little bit more done. And there he is, detailed and ready for the next steps. Okay, I detailed the rest of the parts. You can see the engine there. I just kind of went over those intakes, and again, I put the color in there, just wiped it off. Just a very simple technique. Works like a charm. Here's his feet. Look how cool that foot looks. Yeah, and then of course here's his hair, which you see it looks more like hair with those detail lines filled in with a little dark color. One of the reasons I love doing this is because this is a cartoon. This car is a cartoon, and so I like to make it look like a cartoon. Well, cartoons for the most part have black lines around them. Here we go also with the hands. See how that little bit of a wash in there just really makes those hands pop. Now, I did create a problem for myself with this kid. I'm just going to admit that now. With his hands, usually the other kits that I have in this series, the hand is just simply on a pin. You just stick that pin in the hole and glue it fast and it's done. This one was actually jointed. I don't know if you can see it, but there's this little ridge around here and a little smaller piece. That was actually to go inside this arm, and I did not realize that at the time. So what I'm going to have to do is I'm actually going to have to nip that little joint off and just glue it. Hopefully there will be enough of the pin left that I can just glue it into the hole. I really regret doing that, but I had all the puttying and everything taken care of, and so I really couldn't go back and adjust it. So that's what we have. That's what we're doing. I look forward to seeing how this finishes up. The next time you see him, he'll be done. Take care. Well, I got to finish Mother's Worry last night, and I got to tell you I had a great time. Here's a couple of shots of the finished project. Have a good week, and remember, model building is supposed to be fun.